Hey, Sully, how are you this morning?
Oh, tired, man. It was a long night last night. had a nice 2-hour ride back down the Parkway. Got home around midnight.
Early and an early start this morning.
Yeah, man. And back at it up to Toms River today. So
absolutely, going to be. It's the final day of the high school season. It seems a little hard to believe that we started about 10, 11 months ago in last August, getting ready for football. But it all comes to an end today.
Man, it goes quick, doesn't it?
It does, and it was a tremendous season. I was thinking that, I made a little bit, not as long as you, but a drive back from Kane University. You think about all the things that happened this high school season. Bo Melton, Cedar Creek football in the fall. Said Nelson, Atlantic City basketball in the winter, and just a tremendous baseball season. Jason Groom, Ocean City, St. Augustine, West Deptford, all the teams that have had great success in the spring. The AHT softball team last night, it's really been a tremendous 2015-16 high school season.
Yeah, and Mike, one of the things I was mentioning before, a little bit more so in my case because I don't cover quite as many schools as you guys do at the press. But when you get one of these teams going on a playoff run, you're kind of covering almost every game, and you get to know these players, the coaches. They enjoy seeing you around and knowing that the next day there's going to be all kind of coverage of their team. And it's kind of a neat thing from a sports writer's perspective. You really get involved with these people's lives, the players, the parents. Parents keep coming up to, hey, great story, great photos, all that stuff. So it's really one of the best parts of being a sports writer, I think, is when you get on one of these playoff runs and you kind of get to be immersed in the community for just a week or two.
Yeah, and especially when a team makes a run like the Egg Harbor Township softball team did. Of course, it ends last night with a 4-0 loss to Watch on Hills. But the way that team won, the way the Rancocas Valley game ended. South Jersey semifinal with Bree Lagrada making a diving catch out there in left field. Then they play that classic game against Eastern, extra 13-inning game, I believe it was.
Oh, that was incredible.
Where they rally several times, and they come back and win the semifinal in the state semifinal in a walk-off. And I think, although Egg Harbor Township softball team lost, last night, and they didn't get the perfect season, I think, what they did, a testament to what they did is I think it was 4 or 5 busloads of fans that came up and watched that team play. I've been around Egg Harbor Township sports for a lot of years. I think you almost have to go back to their basketball team, the Shea Matlock basketball team in the early 90s, coached by Sam Bada, that 92-93 era, to see an Egg Harbor Township team that really captured the community's interest and really, sparked that school the way the softball team did this season.
Mike, I took the ride up with my managing editor, Giuseppe Ungaro, last night, and we were talking on the way home, the ride home, about just how impressed he was with Kate Corte and Nicole Wisser, and the way those girls handle themselves. It's obviously brutal to lose your final game, and it's such a tough thing for 17, 18-year-old girl to handle. But they really stepped up and faced the media, a throng of media, trying to get some quotes out of them, and if that's not easy for a professional athlete, much less a high school girl.
Right, you hit it right there. I was really impressed with Kate Corte after the game. She was kind of the first one to break the ice there. Obviously, the girls were upset that they had lost, but she really stepped forward. And like you said, there were about 6-7 reporters there waiting to talk to them. It's not, and you hit it on the head. It's not easy to talk after a loss. Professional athletes don't do it all that well, and sometimes it takes professional athletes 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Maybe longer to speak. So Kate Corte really did a tremendous job and really gave insightful quotes and kind of I thought really captured what the team was about and really put some perspective on the season. It's a disappointment last night, but 24-1 in the South Jersey Championship is still a season.
And Nicole Wisser as well. I mean, there's so much pressure on a girl like that. You're basically handing her the ball every game and saying, "Hey, go win us a game." And game after game after game, she came through. And I was just completely impressed with that team and the senior leadership they had. Miranda Sincotti, some of those other girls, and some great young talent that really got a chance to shine. I mean, Chris McElhenney had a tremendous game last night, and Marissa Varela is only a sophomore in right field. She's a heck of an athlete.
Right, and what was impressive about that team, now, obviously Worcester played a key role and Tori Jerome played a key role. Worcester pitched and batted cleanup. You can't get any more key than that. Tori Jerome had batted third and pitched too, came in relief for Worcester, and Jerome had a lot of big hits during the season. I think she has more than 100 hits, and she's only a junior. But, but what you said is you hit upon it, and what kind of made that team special is 1 through 9 in the batting order. Everywhere in the field, they just got plays from everybody, whether it was Varela or Sincata or Emily McNeil or Lagrada with a catch. They just got contributions from people throughout the entire lineup. So it was a special team. It didn't have the ending that they wanted last night, but still, when they look back on it this morning or, a day or so from now, that's a team that can be very proud of what it did on the field this season. And it can be a team that can be very proud of what it did off the field, because it showed, what a sports program can do at an Egg Harbor Township school, and maybe some more of the other programs will follow that lead and really, we kind of take sports at that school to another level.
Mike, there was also a couple girls, on the bench that really didn't see much playing time at all this year, who were seniors, a girl like Paige Wiseman. Really cool to see, her be able to contribute in that 13-inning win against Eastern, and to get a moment where she scores the tying run. It might have been the only run she scored all year, but just to, talk about that a little bit. When you have a senior who's on a team who's not really playing, a lot of times that can be a cancer, but these girls, they really bought in, wanted to be a part of that team, and I think that's something that's really going to serve them well going throughout their life is, hey, they stuck it out, and they weren't getting a lot of playing time, but they were part of a team that really did something special.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that goes, that goes for any team. When you have these, coaches kind of call those kids program kids. Kids who are kind of in the program for 4 years, sort of understand their role, maybe show the younger kids coming along, that maybe the younger kids is not getting the playing time that they want, as this is how you act on the bench. This is how you still contribute to the team. So, every successful program has kids like that.
Mike, I think one of the similarities between Egg Harbor Township and Ocean City baseball, when we talk about the lineup, is you could flip it 1 through 9 and go 9 to 1, and it's almost the same lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I remember before the season started talking about how the South Jersey baseball season was going to turn out with people people around South Jersey, and kind of one thing that struck us all was the depth that Ocean City had, and like you said, they have a lot of. It's not just Sean Mooney, although he's had a great year. It's Dom Fiorentino. It's Josh Arnold. It's the big first baseman, Nick Armoritz. It's they have really had a tremendous season, and it's due to their depth. I mean, it's Jeremy West. They've got a lot of talent on that team, and that's why they're in a state final today against Northern Highlands.
Mike, what are you looking for today? We got St. Augustine coming up at 11 o'clock going against Seton Hall Prep, one of the powers in North Jersey. And then Ocean City, one of the top teams in South Jersey going up against kind of a Cinderella story in Northern Highlands.
Yeah, I mean, two great stories. I mean, you look at St. Augustine Prep and, talk about the playoff run that Egg Harbor Township softball team went through. The Hermits are on a playoff run on their own. They beat, Shore Conference Power Christian Brothers Academy. Then they beat Gloucester Catholic. Then they beat Camden Catholic. This is a St. Augustine team that's kind of, if the St. Augustine team can ever be an underdog, and I'm sure there are many people in the Cape Atlantic League who say, the Hermits can never be an underdog in any sport. But
right.
If there is one that could be an underdog, it would be this team. I mean, they lost pitcher Mike Destoria before the start of the season to arm surgery. Bill Chilari, another Division I pitcher, sits out a month of the season with with some soreness in his elbow. He comes back for the playoffs, and they turn to a guy who's going to start today, who's, their best hitter and 6-0 on the mound. Chris Morgan-Weck, who you kind of project as their number 3 starter coming into the season. He steps up. He's their number 1 guy. They get some great pitching out of, the sophomore Jack Billings kind of emerges as a dominant reliever in the playoffs. And here they are in a state final against the Seton Hall prep team. So, St. Augustine looking for their first state title since 2011.
Talking with Mike McGarry, Press of Atlantic City. Mike, how do you put it into perspective? You've been at this for, 2.5 decades or so in South Jersey. How do you put it into perspective Sean Mooney's season, allowing only 2 runs the entire season, 11 hits in like 50-plus innings? Have you ever seen anything quite like that?
No, I haven't. Let me say I have. Jason Groom's stats from up in Barnegat are as dominant, but those dominant stats did not translate for one reason or another into the wins that Mooney has, or where, Mooney has been able to get his team. But he's had one of the most dominant seasons maybe ever by a Cape Atlantic League pitcher. And I know, the 0.00 ERA, is tremendous. But in looking at his stats yesterday, what really struck me is he's pitched 50-something innings. Like you said, 11 hits and 10 walks in 50 innings. That's 21 base runners in 50 innings.
Nobody's even getting on base, much less to score a run.
Exactly. So, obviously Ocean City will be throwing him today out there. Obviously in the past couple of years, we knew he was good. He committed to St. John's when he was, early in his sophomore season. I saw him pitch as a sophomore, saw him pitch last year. The big difference this year is his off-speed stuff, his breaking stuff. He's always had that good fastball, but his breaking stuff is, his sort of soft stuff has really improved, and that's really been the difference so far. But like you said, and he's going to be a guy who's going to look to cap it off today, in the state final. We'll see what happens today, but, he's certainly got the opportunity to have one of the better seasons ever by a Cape Atlantic League baseball player, and it can end today with a state championship.
His outfielders are catching up on their homework when he's pitching out there in the outfield.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Like you said, a lot of games he averages 13 strikeouts a game too. So, like you said, teams aren't even putting the ball in play against him. He has 2 no-hitters, maybe 3 no-hitters. So, just a tremendous season. But the 0.00 ERA is one thing. But 11 hits and 10 walks in 50-something innings. That's pretty good.
You can't even do that on MLB The Show.
No, I can't do that on video games.
Good stuff, Mike. Appreciate it, man. We're up against the clock, but thanks for checking in, and we'll catch up to you soon, buddy.
All right, Sully, anytime. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Bye-bye.
That's Mike McGarry, Press of Atlantic City.